Oh. Need to adjust that again. As cool as that angle of my legs is, yes, this is a better angle. So, for anyone keeping score out there, last time I was with you all, I was riding my, I was riding my stationary bike, and I had gotten into a lovely little habit of stationary biking and guitaring at the same time. Was really enjoying getting the exercise in while practicing guitar. And then I'm on the stationary bike last week and playing guitar and biking as you do, and it goes pop, and one of the screws that secures the seat to the bike just snapped, and the other screw that was remaining was also quite warped. The first screw, the one that snapped, part of it's still stuck in there, so I'm not sure how or if that's going to get a fix at this point, but nonetheless, we are here, and I'm going to be doing some music without the stationary bike, so, you know, that's just how it goes. So what I was doing before I joined, or before I started this broadcast, was I was going through some of my old songs, and some of them collabs, some of them solo things, and I was just trying to relearn to play them. So, before I get into that, I guess there is another piece of info to share, I suppose. I have entered the 5-monitor nation. So now, if you look over here, I have 5 monitors. I've never had this many monitors in my life, and now I have 5. So that's fun. Also, I got a bunch of stuff on the floor. Cables, food, bunch of stuff that I can step on. So that's a volume adjustment. That's a multi-effects adjuster. The patch switch buttons here are broken, so I have this practice breadboard with stuff wired to it so I can change patches on the fly. Got my Wii balance board over there, my Arturia Beat Step, which I sometimes use as a foot pedal. So there's a bunch of stuff on the ground. We'll see how that plays into things. But nonetheless, let me put you down again. Oh, and there we are there again. I think that'll do. I guess if I'm back here, it'll do, but I want to raise it a little more. More. This particular camera is not like in the best setup for what I was trying to do there. I've got it in like a little box with a paperweight in there, so I sort of have to fiddle with it to get it in the correct position. I also added a third mic, and it seems to be picking up lots of floor noise, so we'll see how much of a problem that becomes. But yeah, so I just sort of was going through my tracks and trying to relearn to play them. Some of these tracks, so I basically started music production seriously just a little over 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago. So, and a lot of these things I created, and I have them like looping during streams or whatever. And excuse me, I've somewhat forgotten how to play them. Some of them I've totally forgotten how to play them. So I figured I'd just start listening through. I had actually started with my synth, my Arturia Micro Freak, but I realized, because that's only got 26 keys, much more effective if I just pick up the guitar and start trying to figure them out that way. So I did, and then I was like, let's go on Twitch and do this. So perhaps, like, I'm going to have these things looping, like, so for example, let's take this one. Give a little backstory on the music. I am going to put it on repeat. And I figured some of this one out already. It's short. This entire song is 18 seconds. So my producer friend Matt, aka Electronauts, and I, one of the earliest things I did when I got together with him in the studio was I had come up, like, I forget if my brother asked for this. My brother reviews toys on YouTube, or at least he used to. It's become more difficult for him in recent years. But I forget if he asked for it or if I just like decided to try to come up with it. I think he asked, but like I wanted to come up with like an outro for his YouTube show. So I came up with a thing where I played, I think it was either I played guitar on top and bass on bottom, or I played guitar on top and then played guitar on bottom as well, as if it were a bass. But when I took it to Matt in the studio, I forget if it was like we were actually in the studio. I think he did this like on his own time after I sent it to him. But he turned it into this. I'm going to get geared up. So I'm going to take the unusual step of using like a proper guitar pick. Usually I like to use my finger picks, but since I might be adjusting things and doing stuff on the fly, I don't want to have to be like constantly taking those on and off. So I had already listened to this one earlier. I just wanted you all to hear what it sounds like. And I have figured out, and hopefully I don't bonk into the mic stand here, the arm, but so basically, oh, and also I'm not like great with the standard guitar pick, so you're gonna determine that very quickly. But I will do my best as I try to figure this stuff out. So. Okay, so basically that's the melody, the main riff. And I figured out, okay, so that's D. Also, I'm like, part of this is going to be helping me figure out the guitar neck better. Like I'm okay at this part of the guitar, not so great at this part of the guitar. So as I go through this, I'm going to be like thinking in my head, okay, that's D, that's B. This is, and I figured this out earlier, so I'm kind of cheating, but that's F sharp. And then that is A. Okay, so the question that I was then following up with, now that I know that progression, it's like, okay, well, if I have D, B, A, and F sharp, what's my key? Well, it sounds like it would be, like if you have one sharp, it's G, and it is F sharp, so is it G? Doesn't really sound right. So then I was like, okay, so is it G in one of its different modes? So then I was going through the G scale. And then, okay, so if we start on 3, that's Phrygian mode, I think. I should probably confirm that, but I'm pretty sure that's right. I guess I should confirm it though first. It's like, I think we have Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian. What's after Mixolydian? I know Locrian is the last one. Let's figure this out. I had gone through, there was part of the process of me learning this stuff where I came up with a workout routine and I gave every mode a day of the week. So it was like Major Mondays and Supertonic Tuesdays, which is another way to refer to the Dorian mode. But I just need to make sure I have it right because I'm forgetting what comes after Mixolydian anyway. Where did I put that info? It's going to be like at the very bottom, or it's not there at all. We'll just go to Google Docs and find it. Talk amongst yourselves. The chickpea is neither a chick nor a pea. And I'm also trying to type with my Steam controller. Weekly workout routine, that sounds right. All right, yeah, Major Mondays, Ionian mode. Supertonic Tuesdays, Median, Phrygian, Wednesdays. Okay, so yeah, what's after? Aeolian, of course, or the minor mode. If I had stopped and really thought about it for a second, it would have been fairly obvious. But okay, so yeah, so if we're starting, if we have just F sharp, and of course we only have determined 4 notes here, so there could be, like, it could be something else. But I was just trying in my head to think, okay, so if we're in the, if we have 1 sharp, and if B feels like home, which it does because we end on B, that feels like home, right? Okay, and then if we go down here, also still feels like home, that's B. So if we start there, so it could be, B Phrygian or Phrygian B, however you refer to that. That might be what it is. B. Yeah, so I guess what I'd want to do is also figure out the bass, which is like, let's hear it again. I have not figured this part out yet. It still fits. So if it's nope, sorry. What am I missing? It would be this, right? So is it that? Because that's going to be important, whether we have G natural or G sharp. Let's hear it again. I think it is G natural. The reverb was a little heavy on this FX preset. Let's switch it. Oh. That's just a little heavy too. Let's go to 9 maybe? Oh, my cables are in the way. Probably gonna have to mess with that again, but let's see if I can get to 9. So I had mentioned at the beginning that these patch switch buttons were broken, so I have to use this practice breadboard, which I put little replacement switches in. Seems like they're not like operating super well. Something I'll fix later unless it becomes more of an issue. I'm not sure it is that. I think it is. I could like get very tactical about it and go in and look at the spectrograph, but I think going down to E is too low. And of course, I could always just decide, let's do it in Phrygian B, and the universe has to reckon with that. I think that's the only melodic lines to worry about, though. So, like, as long as it works, it should work. The question now, I guess, is what I should do about it. I suppose I could write it down. And while I do that, I will let you hear other music. We'll figure out what comes next based on whatever just turns up. So I'm going to turn off repeat. I think I have enough of this now. I'm not like trying to get, amazing at playing it yet, but hopefully if I do this enough, when it comes up again, I'll be like, oh, we have, I was going to say the name of the song. We've just called it Robert's New Outro, which probably ought to give it another name. If anybody in the future watches this and is like, it should be called this, feel free to throw that out there. But yeah, so I'm going to let it play, and then I'll write this down, and we'll do something else after. I was gonna make it like a Google Doc. Might be better to make it a spreadsheet though, because then we can do more interesting stuff with it. Let's actually start it that way. A lot of these tracks, like I was saying, that I just sort of came up with them and haven't really returned to them. But yeah, some of them, like that last one, was just like a beat that I just have held on to for that long. Okay, Robert's New Outro.
The vibe is a time
This one needs some serious work. I was actually doing a rework of this song already, so I don't know if I'll spend a bunch of time trying to figure out this version of it. Maybe I still should, but I think I would rather focus on things other than this song. This is called The Vibe. And I can actually, now that I was going to say I could put the titles on the screen, but that's not going to be very helpful once we get, because a lot of times we're just going to be on one song. Okay, so we have, I don't know if you would call, like if it's B Phrygian, do you call that the key or is that the mode? Should the key be B or no, the key would be G. Okay, so I get, See, this is the thing, like when I was working through scale modes, I wasn't sure nomenclature-wise how people refer to them, and I was seeing people talk about this recently, but now, B Phrygian doesn't make sense, right? Except that it starts on B. I was going to say, like, it makes more sense to say G Phrygian because the number of sharps we have is 1. I'll fix it later. We'll figure it out. I'll ask some people who know. If anybody shows up, then awesome. They can elucidate that for me. But otherwise, for the moment, we'll just leave it like that. Oh, gosh. Okay. I was trying to do a double click, which is kind of hard to do on this control surface. Okay, so song name, I guess. And then I'll call it the key. I suppose I could have the key be G major and the mode be Phrygian. I was trying to figure out whether to call B Phrygian the key or the mode. It makes more sense in my mind, actually, to say G major is the key and the mode is Phrygian. Because the key, we have 1 sharp. I think I'll do it that way for now. And then we'll figure out the right way to do it later. I could look that up right now, but I want to keep trucking. So we'll say mode is Phrygian, key is G major. I know exactly who I would ask about this, so later. It's not an AI. Could be, but you can never trust the AI when it comes to music. I was talking to Gemini once, and it just like flat out telling me the wrong number of sharps for like the A major scale, and I'm just like, how could you have this wrong? Okay, so this is called Poor Concentration. I've actually worked on this one before, and I want to say it's in G sharp major, but we can find out. This is a tough one for me to be playing because I've got my capo over here. I've actually never used it. It's not the best capo in the world, but especially if it is G sharp major, it's a tough one to play without a capo because you have to do like this triple bar thing on these first fret. It's like the kind of thing capo was made for. So I don't know. Maybe we'll try that out. But let's figure out if I have the notes right first. I'm unplugged somehow. Oh no, I put down the pedal. I need to get my Arturia beat step is my mute unmute button. So let's go ahead and do that while I figure it out. From my head to my toes, by the skin of my nose, by the feel of my bones, in all the colors and tones. Okay, well, the fact that that sounds pretty good already means I'm probably right about at least what I think it is. Let's see if I'm right that it's G sharp major. So I'm trying to figure out where home is. That might be it right there, which would be, in fact, G sharp. Let's pick a different tone. So this, we're doing a 4-fret thing. But okay, so let me pause the music for a minute. I don't have a way to do that with my feet yet. There are ways. There are ways. I just haven't programmed it yet. Not going to do that now, but perhaps before next stream, we'll see. Okay, so if it were a G sharp major, nope. So G sharp. I'm not good at the scale thing, so I'm figuring that out as we go along too. If it's G sharp major, well then we probably ought to call it A sharp and not B flat. Okay, so that's why, because I have to skip one. So that sounds decent. Yeah, and so my 1, 3, I can't do 1, 3, 5 in that position. I would have to move to a different position, huh? Because I've got 1, 3, 5. So I would have to be, what if we go, just thinking. Think what 1, 3, 5 actually is. So that's G sharp, that's B sharp, which is C, right? So I guess I need to think through that a little more. B, or G sharp, A sharp, B sharp, C, no, C sharp. And then that's D sharp. Is this going to be 7 sharps? That's E sharp, yeah. F sharp, G, yeah. So okay, G sharp major is actually 7 sharps. That means there's probably a different way I should be referring to this key. What if we made them all flat? Then that would be A flat major. So A flat and B flat. It's got to be C. D flat. E flat. You can hear them cars driving by. F flat? Is that what we would call that? E flat? No, it's just F. Just F, okay. So this, okay, thinking of it as A flat major means now it has 5 flats instead of 7 sharps, so that's good. So I should probably think of it as A flat major, not G sharp major. Good to know, have that, is that they're inharmonic, I guess? Is that what you call that? Okay, so A flat, I didn't figure out my 1, 3, 5, so A flat, B flat, C, so A flat, C, and then this was E flat, so A flat, C, E flat, so A flat, C. Still can't get to E flat there though, because that's it can't be that. Wait, what am I thinking about wrong? A flat, C. Oh, I can get it there, yeah, because that's, there we go. Okay, but can I hit it in the next octave? So, A flat up there is gonna be here, or here. And then we have to go up to here. That's not bad. Yeah, it's quite a bit easier. Okay, so as I slowly work my way through this, so that's G, A flat. Oh wait, so I said five flats. It's actually 4, isn't it? Because we have G natural as well. Nope. Yeah, so we have F natural, G natural, C natural. So yeah, it's actually 4. Nope. Okay. Hey, we don't have to use the capo, at least not yet. Okay, so then we go from there to G natural, which would be, is it here? No. I mean, I guess at that point, might as well go either way, right? Whatever is most convenient. Hello, Mr. Peep. Nice to see you. Okay, and I'm trying to think about where the next step goes without just like plunking something. So it's going to be below the root. Is it a 7th or a 6th? I want to say it's a 7th. No, because that doesn't sound like it's pushing me as strongly as I want to the root, right? If it were the root, it would sound like it's really, really wants to resolve to the root, but maybe I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong. Okay, so that is my B flat. No, that's my C. I thought we were ending on A flat. We're not. We're ending on C. Well, it's true though that it's not. It's a major second, and not whatever minor second, I guess, because that minor second really wants to go up to the C. So my thought process was correct, just the note we were landing on is wrong. It was wrong. Nope. So we're going down further than I think here. I wish I had the ability to hear that better. I guess that's what we're working on, but. If I can't hear it, I can at least pick something that's definitely part of the scale, even if I'm wrong. So what should I pick? Don't think it's going to be our F. And I was playing it earlier, so it's in my head somewhere. Let's try the E flat. No, Am I, like, I was just looking at it, like, I need to play the scale again, I think. Nope. It was the E flat, but yeah, I think the best course of action when that happens is just go back to the scale, probably. Okay, so we know this song is called Poor Concentration, by the way, ironically. I will play it again while I write down. I know that it is in A flat major, which I don't have to write down, but I'm reminding myself has four flats, not 5 and not 7 sharps. You could interpret it as having 7 sharps, but you would be a crazy person. So that's probably, like, I'm happy enough with that for the moment. We'll move on to the next one, and then when it comes around again, maybe we can try to remember what the key was. Like, I at least remembered this time in my head it was G sharp major, which of course that's not the right way to think about it, but nonetheless it got us there. So as far as I can tell, that's the major mode as well. Like, we didn't have anything weird like with the previous one where it's in frigid mode. Poor concentration. This is Singularity. This particular version of Singularity, Matt and I did in the studio, and at this point I was still, like, I was having it be an A-E motion, like A down to E, back up to A. The way I play it these days, it goes down to F. So I know that's gonna make for some interesting dynamic when I'm trying to figure it out. I mean, okay, so poor concentration, A flat, and mode is major. I'm actually not on this song, but it could be interesting to figure out anyway. I was in the room when they played this. This is Matt and Jordan. Jordan, aka Crosshatch Plan, is a guitarist on many of our collabs, and that's him on this one, obviously. But yeah, so let's see if we can figure out what this is. Okay, so that's our E is obviously involved. The A sounds pretty good. I kind of like how A minor sounds, but let's see. I don't like how B sounds. So that A, E major fourth sounds pretty good. So that D he throws in. I'm gonna see if I can figure anything out. Don't love the way E minor sounds. What about E major? That sounds decent. What about if we made it a full A? Right now I'm just going up to the third string. What if we add in the C on the A major, A minor? Interesting. I expected to alternate that with the E major. But it feels like that wants to replace the E major. And then this guy, where we're going up to A on the third string. And that's an A, E, A, so what's that, like A sus something or other, A sus 4, interesting. And then I know there was a D in there somewhere. I don't like the A minor as much. I think the E major sounds better than the A minor. You might be able to substitute in the A minor, but that right there, that sounds like home, and that's A, E, A, a sus chord. You can even put the low E in there. It doesn't seem to make a whole lot of difference. So, Let's listen to it again, see if we can hear more A minor tone out of it. Cool, enjoy. Thank you for stopping by, Sean. I'm now thinking that sounds like an F. I'm going to move to a cleaner tone. I don't think it's that one. There's some kind of crazy flanger thing going on there. I think he only does the D in that little intro sequence. Okay, I don't think it's A major, so if we're gonna play string 2, I think it's gotta be A minor, so. Tone is still not as clean as I would like. That's closer at least. I don't know if that's really it. It sounds okay. So we're doing F, we're doing A minor. What's the overlap? So an F major chord, one, we have a C, We have an F again, of course, and then that's going to be G sharp. F major should be B flat, right? Doesn't F major have one flat? That's A, not G sharp. That's A. This would be G sharp. Okay, so actually the F major chord, it has no sharps or flats in it. I should know that. So what sounds like home? I'd say the A. So probably A minor, since I know that that is the relative minor of C major. Both have zero sharps or flats. And then he goes up to the D occasionally for some variation, and that's going to have, at least if I play it this way and don't go all the way up here, we don't put the F sharp in there. We could have that F sharp in there just to sort of push us back down. Okay, well, I'm going to call that A minor for now. I'm going to say Chicken Song is an A minor. And I'm realizing as I do this, like, what I wasn't keeping track of on the previous couple was the actual progressions. So we can start keeping track of that too. Like we have the... But I don't know, like, what to consider. I guess I have to hear it again to see what we consider the first chord. And see, this is a little tricky because he does sort of bounce around a little bit at the beginning and sort of lands. But let's see what chord he lands on. I want to call F the one, because like I feel like when he really lands, it's on that F. Not that I call it, I should be careful with my terminology, because if we're in A minor, then F is what, the 6 or something? F, G, A, yeah. So I don't mean that it's like the one of the scale, but it's like the first chord we do. I don't know if that's the right way to think about it. Just doing this is actually very helpful for me to sort of wrap my head around what I need to figure out. Like what are some important things just like nomenclature-wise for me to be able to discuss coherently. And then as I get done with this, go figure out the answers to that. But okay, so that's decent. I think we've heard enough of Chicky Chicken. I will put on the songs, and as I fill this out, we'll figure out what comes next. I'll probably be here for another 50 minutes, maybe longer, depending on what happens, but yeah.
chicken. Wow, 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 wow. All right. Let's see. Air, please use keyframe
It takes money to make, and it takes cunning to make, and we're all gunning to make. Yes, it takes money to make, though it's so daunting to make, and we're all wanting to make. So let's take money too. It'd be so funny too, like milk and honey. Who has a plan for us? Who tips the can for us? And who will stand for us? Yes, it takes money too. A hole in one or two.
Okay, so no, I said 50, 50, but I don't know that I will for sure leave then. It's just like that's when Kevin's gonna get up, and we'll see if we're hanging out, jamming, having a good time. You know, never know what's gonna happen. But yeah, so I notated the progression there as F to A minor, and that's really all I wrote. I'll have to figure out if that's more appropriately, like we call that 6-1 or whatever. And then mode, I just put question mark. Like I'm not even trying to figure that out right now. The key I'm calling A minor, so maybe the mode is minor, but yeah, we'll have to figure some stuff out with that. So this particular track, I apologize for the horrible rhythm at the start of it, but this is one that I play in lives often, so I think I know mostly what's going on here, but again, it'll come down to like how you actually are supposed to refer to this kind of stuff. I know E minor is like home. Okay, so E minor goes up to F major. And it's not like I've never tried to play like the full F major. I wonder how that sounds. Sounds fine. I usually just do, what is that, one F, G, A, B? Is that, no. Yeah, it's C. Okay, so F, G, A, A, B, C. So that's 1, 5, 1. And then we do the D, where I'm doing the bottom. It's mostly D major, but we start on, and see, this is going to be a tricky one because I know we're doing, it's definitely not going to be at major scale, because we have F to F sharp, we have E to F. I remember playing this one time and somebody was asking me if it was a harmonic minor, and I don't know well enough to answer that. I want to say harmonic minor is where you change one of the accidentals, I guess you might say, on the way down versus on the way up. I'm not really intentionally doing anything like that, and especially not in this little intro progression. But if E is home, E minor is home, there's really no, like, F, this F major, it has to be the second, right? So, like, it has to be E minor is 1, F major is 2, and then this D major pretty much has to be 7. So if there is a progression, it's 1, 2, 1, 7, 1, 2, 1, 7. So I could call it 1, 2, 1, 7. I guess that would be what, lowercase 1, or lowercase I, uppercase 2, because I'm playing it as, excuse me, F major. I'm curious if I played the F major and the whole chord sounds fine. I don't usually play it that way, but that sounds fine. Then what if I play the whole D? I'm not sure that the upper part there sounds great, although we are playing an F sharp down here. It doesn't sound horrible. It's just a little more optimistic than the song sounds otherwise. Okay, so I will say our key, is it E minor? If it were E minor, it's got to be something even weirder than E minor for us to be playing the F major chord like that, though. Not just for playing the F major chord, but also playing an F sharp. Because basically that would mean we have E, F, F sharp. So that's something truly exotic. That's not going to be, like, you can't get there with scale modes. That's got to be something else. I don't really know what to call that in terms of key. Let's write the progression down and then say the key is E minor question mark, and mode is also going to be a question mark. And then I'll have to do more research. I will let that one play out and figure out more with more research.
It's fun, but I'm going berserk. Cause invest, spend, and save is the way to behave. To not be a slave to the systems we've made. A society crazed with how much you've raised and what you get paid. And if you got laid, a market of fools fresh out of their schools, just using their tools to break all the rules. So let's write a story, one with no worry, where bills are all paid and we got it made. And then we decide what to put aside. There's some to survive, a little to thrive, and the rest to tithe to keep faith alive. Just sharing the wealth, cause it's good for your health. How can I save when all that I crave is my favorite jam? Don't care if I am gonna still be alive when I'm 65, or want to contrive and arrive at a plan that involves Uncle Sam. And so I drift away as I start to play, and after it's done, get a song or a pun or a line I can hum to settle and numb the fears that would come when the day is done.
So we'll see where we end up next. Oh, it's on loop. So we're going to end up at the same place.
It takes money to make.
Okay, so this came from a riff that I called Autumnal, based on a song that Jordan did, and I'll go ahead and set it to loop for now. The timing of the loop here is like off, so if you're detecting that the rhythm doesn't quite work, it's not just you. But nonetheless, we can still figure it out. This eventually evolved into my song High on My Own Supply. It actually came from a riff that I ended up taking out of the song. But let's see, just based on all this stuff we hear, if we can figure out what this is. So either G flat or F sharp. That sounds pretty good. Okay, let's pause it. So that is, let's call it F sharp, C sharp for the moment, and then reevaluate once we get more. So then that's going to be E and B, which is, it's probably good that we're on sharps then, because E and B come at the end of the sharp line. D. So that's D, A. And then if we're going with sharps, that's going to be C. So F, C, G, 3 sharps, probably A major. I lost it. Is that G sharp at the end there? Yeah. So that makes me reevaluate. Now we have 4 sharps, which means probably E major. But F sharp sounds kind of home-like. Not major though, minor. Okay, so if we have the E major key, but F sharp minor sounds like home, then that would be E Dorian? Or do we call it F sharp Dorian? No, it would have to be. I've got to figure that out. It's gonna. I'm sure it's intuitive to people who know, but it's like we start on the second step of E major. I guess I would have to figure out for F sharp minor what the progression then is as if we were in E major. And then, like, I might not even be able to call it Dorian at all. I have to figure it out. But I'll just put question marks by it for now. But the key sounds like E major to me. And I'll say E major Dorian with another question mark. But I think ultimately we will want to think about it in terms of F sharp minor. Probably. But I think we have 4 sharps. I know we have 4 sharps because I just played through it. So then the progression would be, let me write that down first real quick. I will let it play a little more as I do so. Okay, so I added a notes column, excuse me. And so I said key E major question mark, mode Dorian question mark, and then in notes just put F sharp minor sounds like home, so I can reconcile those two thoughts later. But okay, so if that's the root, that's going to be our F sharp. Okay, so if we're just notating progression in terms of what, where things go, that would be F sharp, E, so F sharp, E, D, and then F sharp, D, F sharp, E, D, C sharp, F sharp, E, D, C sharp. Okay, I'm gonna write all that down. And then we go back to F sharp. That is all I will notate on this one for now. It's almost over, and we'll figure out what comes up next. This is purely drums, so we're just gonna let this one go. At some point, I want to figure out like the rhythm of this stuff again too. That's gonna be a completely different step. I had started, I was playing my little gato drum over there and trying to sort of get along with the rhythm as well. But then, especially for the songs where there's lyrics, I like started singing along, and it just occurred to me that it would be useful to like know the notes as I'm singing to. So I was like, let's do this, the pitch first, and then figure out the rhythm afterward. So this song is called Cruel to Be Kind. It is a complete noisy mess, which is somewhat intentional, but like basically I moved my recording setup from up at my previous place from upstairs to a first floor room in the downstairs, or first floor. And I was expecting, because the upstairs I had a shared space, and on the first floor I had sort of my own space. I was like, oh, it's going to be much easier to record now. Turned out not to be the case. There was all kinds of noise in that room as well. Part of that's because it was like somewhat cleared out because we were getting ready to move at the time. It had hardwood floors, not a lot of good sound absorption and stuff. But nonetheless, so I found myself in that space, and like with the surprising amount of noise that there was, then I was like, well, what if I just like pick one line and sing it over and over and over again, layer it on top of myself, and try to sort of outcompete the noise with signal. Results, as you will hear, are mixed, but that's the story behind this one. So we'll figure out what the notes are, what the key is, and all that stuff. Progression. I have done a little bit of practice with this one, but I've completely forgotten, so I need to figure it out again. I think I pretty much figured that out. There's not a whole lot else to the song, at least at this point. At some point I maybe will expand on it to be more than that, but we have C. And then let's say E flat, I guess. And then that's gonna be B flat. Yeah, it's good, because that's what we want it to be if we have an E. Now I gotta remember what scale has two flats. Is it just E flat? No, it's B flat, right? Let's find out. Okay. I mean, that's something I could look up pretty quickly, but also I should be able to figure it out. Okay, so... Nope. Okay, so I'm trying not to play the wrong thing, but I'm confusing myself. So we have B flat, D. No, can't go from B flat to D. What am I missing? That's not B flat. That's it is B flat. Yeah. No, it's no, because that's B. A, B, B sharp, or C. I just played C major, not B flat at all. Okay, so we'll start on B flat then. That's not it. It would be here. Okay, so what notes do we actually have? B flat. C. D. E flat. F. G. A. B flat. Yeah, okay, so it is B flat that has two flats. My brain remembered it, but I had to figure it out really to get it again. I'm glad I had the right guess, otherwise we would have had to iterate through who knows how many notes to find it. Okay, so now that I remember that basically if you're adding sharps, you have to move forward a fifth. So if you're adding flats, you would move forward a fourth, because moving forward a fifth is the same as moving backward a fourth. I'm trying to think. F major is one flat. B major is two flats. So F, G, A, B. That's moving forward in a fourth. Okay. So I'm just trying to not have to iterate over a whole bunch of notes to figure stuff like this out. So B flat major, B, C, D, E. Yeah, so E flat major would have three flats. B, C, D, E. Just to confirm, F, G, A, B, B, C, D, E, E, F, G, A. So A would have four. Did I lose track? Yeah, A flat major would have four. A, B, C, D. D flat major would have five, and so on and so forth. Okay, so now I don't have to find it again. I don't have to do that iteration. As long as I can remember one of them, the first one ideally, and that I move forward by a fourth. Or which is the same as moving back by a fifth. Okay. What was I doing? It's cool to be kind. Okay. But see, now that C sounds like home to me. So even though we have E flat and B flat, C sounds like home. Which means if we are in B flat, then it would have to be. See, this is where I'm going to end up in confusion again, because I want to say that that's B flat Dorian. Pretty sure that's not what people actually say, but I will write it down just to keep that in my brain until I figure out the right way to say it. So. Let me get that notated. And as I do so, I will move you on to other songs, because there's really not a whole lot else to this particular song. The progression is just, as you have heard, C, E flat, B flat, or C, 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 E flat, E flat, E, B flat, E flat, C. And then it just does that a lot. I'll call it minimalism. That's what it is. It's not me just not knowing what I'm doing. Move on from that. Okay, I know this one pretty well, at least I think I do. We'll find out, huh? This is one that Matt and I did in the studio as well. He and I had this very productive day where we did 5 different songs in one day in the studio. It was this and Never Enough Time and that little clip from Singularity you heard earlier. I don't even remember what the other ones were. I think we did some recording for another song we haven't even released yet called Civil Wars, and the 5th one I'm forgetting at the moment. Okay, so this one I play all the time. I actually play it differently now, but so when I was working on this recently, like I had always thought of this song as being in E major, and then I realized, especially because of the way, so like the main progression. Simple enough. E, B, A, and then that's A, but like you don't play the C sharp, so that probably means something. I don't know if this is like actually a C sharp chord. Probably ought to figure that out. And then back to E. But the way I play it these days, we've got this A7. I'm not used to playing it with a pick. And then I go to D. and then we go into the old progression. But if we hit that D natural, at least the intro bit can't be in E major, because E major has D sharp, I should say. So it's got me thinking, is this actually in A major, or is it in D mixolydian, or E mixolydian, where you have a flat seventh? Haven't 100% answered that yet, but we're bouncing around this A a lot too. But E sort of sounds like home. So I think E mixolydian would be the right way to think about it. And this is where I know that I have my mode declarations wrong, because at least on this one, E mixolydian, it makes sense in my brain. Basically, we have the mixolydian pattern, but we're starting on E. So it's just like when I'm in G major and we're starting on the third note of the G major scale, we definitely can't think of it as G mixolydian, at least not if I'm thinking of this as E. We can't think of it as G Phrygian if I'm thinking of this as E mixolydian, because this actually starts on E, whereas my G major thing ends up starting on whatever it was, B. So yeah, that's how I know that there's some issue there. But so we could call this E mixolydian. I think it makes sense because that very much sounds like home. In the intro, even in the intro, we land on E. And that still sounds like home. So I want to call it E mixolydian. And I guess I wouldn't say the key is E major. I'll just call it E, and then say the mode is mixolydian. And then progression-wise, there's actually two parts here. So I don't know if there's A progression or B progression, how people talk about that. We haven't had one yet where I had to really worry about that. But the first progression, A7, A, E, and then that changes to D, so there's actually three progressions to keep track of here. Like an A, well, I wouldn't want to call it A, B, and C progressions because that's just going to get confusing. We can use standard numerals, I suppose. Call it progressions 1, 2, and 3. Not use Roman numerals because that would get confusing again too. We'll have to figure out how people talk about that kind of stuff. But yeah, so let's say, and I'll let this song loop while I write some of this down.
Me. You can't insure against the cost that it bills me. To do all I can so that I never feel guilty. Then raise my hands up to whatever God ever got. Walk in the snow looking for something that chills me. I'll plumb the depths and find a wellspring that heals me. Pull off the mask and make a move that reveals me. Repeat the beat that's in my brain, it fulfills me. Do, 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 do. I'm not dead yet, but I'll be dead if it kills me. Do, 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 do. I'm not dead yet, but I'll be dead if it kills me.
Okay, so this one is actually a collab between me, Matt, and Jordan. I was on synth or something here. Jordan is playing the guitar. Matt did the production on everything else. There is a version of this where I sing a little thing over and over again. This is clearly not that version. Okay, so we have C sharp, let's say. We have an F sharp, E, B, Is that bass? I may have actually played bass on this. I don't think Matt played bass on it, and I don't think Jordan ever played bass. Not that it really matters at this point, but filling in the backstory of the song. Okay, so C sharp, E, B, F sharp, E, F sharp. Okay, so that's our progression. We know that there's a C sharp and an F sharp. So if we had only two sharps, that would make it D major, I believe. Let's see what a D major chord sounds like. Doesn't sound right. But since we start on C sharp, I need to yawn, excuse me. Doesn't sound like horrible. So in that second bit, the D major sounds better. And then E major sounds okay. Okay, so if D major, and E major both sound good. Welcome back, and that's the monkey. And we have a C sharp we start on. I want to say that the C. It doesn't sound like it resolves to a D though. That C sharp really sounds like home. And then going down to B. Should it be B minor? Or B major? I'm going to say it's not B major. Thank you for the hydrate. I will do that. This thing is so condensed. All kinds of drips coming off of it. A worthy hydration. I hope you enjoyed your activity, Sean. Oh, I can feel the tiredness coming on. We will try to figure this one out first, and then we will see what the vibe is on the next one. A does not sound correct. So let's figure out, I don't really know a C sharp major chord offhand, so I'm gonna have to figure it out real quick. So what if we just did like a 1... That would be our 3. Something tells me it's going to be minor though, since we had E and D as major. How am I supposed to play that? Stick my pinky way over here? Probably put it up. That's going to be its own kind of problem, though. So my 3 is here, so we're just going to have to miss the 3. We'll go right up to the 5. Oh, I was doing a minor 3. Okay. I was like, but the 3 is here. So that would mean the 5 is there. And then another C sharp would be up here. I should have known that, because that's B, right? Go up 2. We're learning things. Neither of those F sharps sound right. right, because that's our D. Yeah, okay. Let's try that again. Sounds okay. I don't know if it's right, but it sounds pretty good. Those are some chords I'm going to have to practice moving between. I'm sure there's a better way. So let's put it back on and see if that still sounds right. We're not doing that A. Might need to go up to the 5th fret A. And then it changes there. It's decent for now. I'll put it down. Did not really determine, like I was calling it a D major, but then like that C sharp sounds like our home. I'll just notate it that way. The key, I'll call it D major, and then mode, I'll put a question mark. And then I'll put the progression and then put a note that C sharp sounds like home. It is 5, so that's probably going to be it for now. I feel the tiredness coming on. This is called Divergent Slingshot, by the way. I want to say Jordan came up with the lyrics that I sang on this. It's one of the only things where I sing lyrics somebody else came up with. But it's like, I can't sing it now because we're not in the right part. I was poised to been back around, but you kept on holding out. You kept holding us up, you strung me up. I'm out to dry, I was poised to been back around, but you kept on holding out. You kept holding us up, you strung me up. I'm out to dry, I was poised to... And I just sort of repeat that. There's more lyrics that I haven't really recorded yet. So that's C sharp, E. You like that? Good. I can put on the one where I sing if you want to hear it. It's like this, except I'm singing on it. Not that you didn't just get that experience, but the one thing that I did do that was neat about this particular vocal is that I made the reverb tied to the volume of the vocal. So basically, the louder that I sang, the more reverb there was. Which I could theoretically do in a live performance, but I don't have that set up yet. This is called Divergent Slingshot, and I can write that out for you later. This is all that exists of the song yet, by the way. We still need to like do the whole rest of it, which, you know, maybe I could do that soon. I was saying earlier, Jordan wrote the words on this one. It's one of the, yes, I can. And yeah, it's one of the only ones where I sing words that somebody else wrote. But there are more words, I just need to record them. I don't know that we've done like the rest of the song yet. I'll have to look into that. I think the one I was just playing is as much of it as we have done. But who knows? I could always elaborate on it myself. Okay, so we had C sharp, E, B, and then it did D, A, loop that twice. And then it sort of repeats. All right. That is going to be it for now. Around a couple hours of working on figuring out my own music. Still got 10 minutes until 2 hours, but nonetheless, I'm tired, so I'm gonna go. Thank you for hanging out, Shonda Gleason. Mr. Peep, if you're still out there, thank you for lurking. And anybody else who has lurked out there, thank you for doing so. I will go to bed for now. I'm gonna have the farewell screen so you can hear some more of this stuff. But thank you all for hanging out. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night, day, morning, afternoon, evening. There's one thing I was realizing I forgot to mention earlier. When I started the stream, I was so fixated on explaining that my bike died that I forgot to mention, because the last time I was doing Twitch streams, I was having PC issues and crashes. That is not the case anymore, which is why I showed you I have 5 monitors now. My graphics card had issues, so I swapped in a couple old graphics cards. Haven't had a crash since, praise Jeebus. So hopefully it continues to not crash. It's a PC, so at some point it'll start crashing again, I'm sure. But hopefully it's a long, long time from now. So yeah, we're back on board. I just did 2 hours on here and no crashes as well. I've done multiple streams on other platforms with no crashes, so awesome. I was just going to throw that out there. There was some other thing that occurred to, on my farewell screen, I think I added it, you're going to see a new version of a logo that one of you all made for me. So thank you for that. And yes, so I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night, day, morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. And I will see you next time.
I'm out to dry. I was poised to bend back around, but you kept on holding out. You kept holding us up. You struck me up. I'm out to dry. I was poised to bend back around, but you kept on holding